morning, this wet and raining morning in the city of Lagos, Nigeria. Good morning to the Good Morning Education Tribe. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning to the entire world because indeed we have people join us from all over the globe. So we say good morning to you wherever you are joining us today. And if it's not morning at your end, good day, good day to you. Thank you for joining us today on this edition of the Good Morning Education Show. My name is Finfolu Falodun and I am your host for today. Thank you for being here, staying tuned. We apologize for starting behind schedule. Our train is moving around and yeah, our train is moving around, dropping goodies in different locations for people. We apologize for starting late this morning, but hey, here we are. We are ready, fired, and pumped to go. So, we would like for you to let us know where you're joining us from, what's your location, where you're tuning in from, where are you watching us from. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow all of our analysts. Let's also know who you are. We'll also like to follow you, really. We'd like to follow you. So, yeah, maybe one more thing I would ask for you to do this morning is to drop your social media handle. Let's know our tribe. Let's get to know you off of being on the other side of the screen. And if you have questions, please drop them in the comments. We'll take them as much as we can. We would also like to hear from you, so please drop your comments. We will take your comments as the show goes on. We will be starting with the headlines from the world of education this morning, in and around the world of education this morning. Before we go into our topic for today, other analysts will be joining us as we go on in the show today. But before we take the headlines, I would like to remind you or to spread the good news that the Business Accelerator Masterclass train is moving. This morning, that plane is landing in the ancient city of Benin. And we will be firing up some entrepreneurs, business leaders, professionals, and intending entrepreneurs to get their business off from where it is, or to start off their business um, on an accelerated um, level. You can enter in and take over. So yeah, that's the intention. Steve Harris and Rotimi Itayo will be the main the doctors on that flight, going about prescribing strategies, tested strategies for businesses. If you are in like Benin, all the seats are taken already in Benin. So if you are in Calabar, Uyo, Ibadan, you can still register. Uh, Ibadan is almost taking off also, but please you can still register. The link, the registration link is bit.ly/BA in capitals accelerator. You can go there, register for the city closest to you, and see your business take wings and fly. So, without taking more of our time, we will be going straight into the headlines this morning. What are the papers saying in the world of education this morning? Our first headline: panel calls for memorandum at FCE Tech Akoka. So there's been a visitation panel at the Federal College of Education Technical in Akoka. There's been a 7-man panel visiting them to evaluate the different areas of governance, academic standards, quality assurance, management of finances, relationships between management and staff, relationship between management and students. All of that. They've been they've been there watching and taking stock of those things. And yeah, they're also taking comments and feedback from the staff and students. Good. One of our analysts is here. I see Mr. Siti Adewusi of Niger Kids. Good morning and welcome to the show this morning.
Good morning, people. Good morning to everyone. It's a great morning, as always, on the Good Morning Education Show. We currently have showers of blessing here in Lagos as there is a major downpour. Honestly,
Yes,
so I look at it
so
as showers of blessing. And for those people who are coming, who have to use Ozumbamba the way here in Lagos today, please know that there's been a major accident around that 1004. So there's
oh,
going to be a lot of traffic. Yes, there was a trailer. I think it's a dustbin truck that um got turned on its side, so blocking the road. So everybody has to then
oh,
take the other way. So that means if you're coming in and out of Lekki, the VI axis, there will be some traffic, and that's with the major downpour that is happening right now. So my advice is that if you need to work from home today, just work from home generally. But welcome to the Good Morning Education Show.
well, thank you for that. These are some of the free tips to get on the Good Morning Education show. So if anybody's watching or you are watching and you know anybody who will be using that route, please let them know that we have given you live situation reports on traffic along the Lekki VI axis. Good morning, Eunice Ohamilgwe. You're welcome to the show this morning. Okay, so we're still taking our headlines from the world of education this morning. And the next headline says ex uni made VC. Okay, we took that yesterday, so we'll just skip that. And Foye ex registrar petitions Senate to restore his job. The former registrar of the Federal University, Oye, in Ekiti State, is petitioning the Senate to restore his job. What's your thoughts, Ms. Badilso?
Honestly, my thoughts on this is that let's follow due process. And this is one of those cases. If someone is being removed, let's ensure that there's a clear process for that, because you don't want people's removal to be personal vendettas against them. So you want that, oh, you can say this is what the person did. There was a committee um, that investigated, presented their findings to presented their findings to the relevant authorities, and based on that, a decision was made. So if he feels that any of those things were not done, then I think it's okay for him to petition. Then again, I'm hoping that the petition that he's petitioning to Senate President is in line with the school process. So I think it's okay, as long as we have defined the processes for doing these things, and we are following the processes. We don't want things to be based on personal vendettas. So for me, that's important.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. And while you were talking, in walks the safety chick. Good morning, Gochi. Hello, Gochi. Can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Morning, Mr.
Okay.
Zadeusi. Good morning to everyone. Can you hear me?
Good morning, Gochi. Yeah, the network is not very, very okay at your end.
Hear me?
We're hearing you on and off, on and off. It's not very steady. Okay, let's go to the next headline. 2,000 Ogun teachers learn to code. I know this was a very exciting one for you, that it was.
Honestly, when I saw it, I was very excited because there are like two or three things on the headlines that are talking about teacher training. So that got me all excited because it's one of the ways that we can really make an impact in the education sector when we train, teachers and ensure that they are well equipped. But when I looked at the news for that, it was a day training. I don't know how much we can learn in a day. So I don't know how effective that training would be, because learning how to program is not a day's job. Even if you go for a week, 2 weeks training, it's still not enough to learn it, because the real learning comes from the doing. So it's like anything. It's like someone going to tell you, we're going to take a day lesson to learn French. Mm. How much can you learn in a day? But honestly, I think it's a good initiative. It's how do we build on that? Um, it's not enough to teach them a day, but just the fact that it was organized by a combination of people. I think it's commendable. We need to see more of that, because I'm not sure they can teach after just doing a day's training. They can go and teach anybody what they've learned. It won't be possible. But just that we're doing things like this, I think for me, yeah, it's wonderful. The other thing is for the Eco Excel, the 14,000 teachers um, that have been trained as well. So it's this is good news for me in Lagos State. So this is really good. We need this, honestly. And training is not something that it should be one off. It's how do we keep doing that, keep doing that. Mm? So they've been doing it in batches, to be fair to them. So the last batch was another batch of 2,000 people, and so we are happy they should keep doing more. What I would just say is, how do we leverage on technology for this training? A lot of this training, they bring people together. How do we leverage on the trainings whereby the trainings are available online? A lot of people access it. Then we will be able to reach a whole lot more people with that, and it will be easier for it to be continuous. i- if you understand what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah,
Yeah, but well done,
yes,
well
I
done.
do. Yeah, in fact, it's one step is better than no step. So
Yeah.
yes, for Ogun State, kudos. We want to see more of that, and we want to see a follow up to the one day. Let's just assume that maybe the one day was the introduction, and that further courses are coming up to really take immerse the teachers in what they're learning. And really, the more teachers are empowered for these things, they find their work easier, they find their work more enjoyable, and they're better teachers in the classrooms. And yes, the same thing for the Eco Excel. It's commendable that they have been able to
Mm.
reach 14,000 teachers already. That's really commendable, and other states should take a cue from this. You don't have to say you're going to do 20,000 people at once and then it becomes a problem executing it. You can
Uh,
take it in bite sizes and grow from there. Yeah.
yeah, look at what happened. 55 lecturers trained on Oracle. So, like you just said, now it's taking things little by little. Little drops of water will then make a mighty ocean. So that's also commendable. The in partnership with some NGO and the Oracle Academy. So we need more of this, and this is the a bit of the partnership we said when we talked about corporate partnership. So these kind of things are fantastic. Trainings that are done by the corporates as they support the educational sector. So kudos to everyone.
Yeah. Kudos to everyone. And welcome to the show, Mrs. Okefo Ajayi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so
It's interesting
much.
that it's interesting that yesterday we're talking about partnerships and the all of the the people and organizations that need to come together to help us see and develop a very robust education system. And today we're seeing all of this, teachers learning to code, the Oracle Academy, and what's the NGO. We're having all of this, Eco Excel, and yeah, it means that really these things are, we're not just talking out of the blue or having some very grandiose plans. These things would really work if we put them to, if we really execute them. Uh, Another headline we have this morning is Canadian immigration firm plans scholarship for Nigerian students. Is this part of the support? Is this part of the education ecosystem, or is this a getaway ticket for Nigerian students?
I'm just laughing. I like the way you did it. It's part of the Japas. It's part of the Japas. So how to is a consult is a Canadian immigration consulting firm, Navigate to Canada, that is granting Nigerian students scholarship to study in Canada. So that's really what it is. So they are looking to give back scholarship to enable them go to study in Canada, which is, massive export of our very very needed resources. I don't want to say it's not good though, but it's not good though. That's the truth. I tell people that when our parents were growing up, a lot of them went and studied overseas, but they studied overseas with the intention to come back. Very few of them went and did not come back. So if I look at, say, the portion of my parents that when they spent max 3-5 years after their studies, and they all came back and they all went into the civil service and things like that. So that's why when you look at some of the things that were done back then, you'll see the quality that was in them. When you look at the likes of buildings of 1004, or the things that were constructed, they were constructed, a lot of it by government with the civil servants there. So for me, it's the mindset of go train to come back where your services are needed. So that's why I like scholarship like the British Vining Scholarship, where they educate you, but the condition is that you're coming back. The condition is that you're coming back to your country to use those skill sets that you've gotten to help your country, not to run away into the land flowing with milk and honey, forgetting that it's a group of people that made their land milk and honey. If they didn't stick it out, it won't be a land filled with milk and honey. So let me just stop there, Sha.
Okay, Lisa Jai, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I agree with Titi on this one. It's just more drain on our already drained resources. The reality is that we're really good, right? In Nigeria, in Africa, when you meet an African in any sector, and I'm not joking, in any sector, what they bring to the table is so much value that it's almost like, can something good come out of Africa? Yes, that's the truth. A lot of good comes out of us, and these people are just trying to take it away. But unfortunately, if it was my child, I would say go, because it is what it is. They get better opportunities there till we understand and put what we need to put in place for our children to not keep going, for our professionals, for our talent to not go. They will go. Because what's the point here? I was talking to a nurse recently, and she said that so they had contact with a COVID-19 patient. First of all, they didn't know the patient was COVID-19. When they eventually found out, that was at the beginning of the pandemic last year. When they eventually found out that this person was COVID-19, was infected with the virus, they had to isolate themselves. And then their boss came and said, "Why will you isolate yourself? Come out and work. Who's going to do the job?" So they were like, that's them, right? That's their ethics that were put in question, because they knew what to do, but they couldn't even do it because, one, they didn't have enough. it's just a mess. But I mean, I wish it didn't happen, but it will keep happening till we recognize what we have and we put things in place to keep them with us. So yeah, back to you, Faye.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. It can be very frustrating knowing what to do and not being able to do it or not empowered to do it. And I think it's a little, it's worse when somebody who is supposed to know what you should do is now asking you to do the exact opposite of what you should do. It really is and can be very frustrating. Welcome to the show this morning, Rhoda Odigo. You are welcome.
Thanks so much. The great wet morning. I love
I can barely
Rhoda,
hear
your
you. I
volume is very low.
very
Oh, I said
low.
good morning. Apologies. I said good morning, and it is a great wet morning. I love it.
Honestly, it's good to
Yes.
have you. Your face has been scarce like gold.
I know. I know. I mean, we've been training teachers, Eco Excel, and so it's for over. I mean, of course, mapping back from the training, we had tons and tons and tons of preparation that we had to do to get us to where we were. So it was, I would say, effectively a month of very tough work, a lot of putting things together. But we're in a good place. It's been completed. We've now finally trained 14,000
Well
Lagos State teachers.
done.
So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
thank you.
I mean, we were
It's,
just talking. We were talking about it to say well done.
woohoo. Yeah.
14,000. It's not a small feat, and I'm excited. That's what I was saying, that a lot of teacher training going on, and we really need it. We now need school management leaders training to also be going on as well, because
Yeah.
just the example KK gave is one thing to have the people know it. When the leaders on top also are not helping to implement it, it can be a bit frustrating. So we also need school management trainings to be going on. But for me, as Fee said, one step is better than no step. So I'm so excited what's happening in Lagos and other parts of the country as they continue to empower, educate the teachers and the educators.
Yeah, Titi,
Okay.
one of the things that we even learned, I mean, right, because of all of what we've been doing, but one of the things that we've learned is how important what you just said, and I guess that's what you have all been talking about, is empowering the leadership. Because sometimes, it's not just in areas of policy, reform, transformation, innovation, creativity. It's really tough up there. And sometimes you find that they have their willing, there's a willingness to want to change, but there's I don't know what to term it as. It's just like, again, the knowledge of the how to change and the why. So you have to sell the why before the how, and it's where in selling the why, you may find it a little easier, especially if you have the kind of leadership we have currently in Superb Lagos. It's great. They're great-minded people. But then the how then trickles down to many other systems that may be a little too old and a little too tight. But then what we're doing, and we've found a bit of success there, is really hosting quite enough of like we call it retreats, and then deep dive sessions, and then using data to back. I think that's our strongest foot forward, has been using data to dive or to drive the journey towards taking process driven decisions. So that's what we've success. Like the journey still, we haven't gotten there at all, but it's a work in progress. Work in progress.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and well done to you and to your team and for all that you're doing for teachers in the States and by extension the country. Thank you so much. In going along that line in the same vein, poor teaching skills worsening learning outcomes, says experts. Yeah, this is just, well, we know that this is a problem, but then one better thing is that something is being done about it. Uh, so let's just go on to the last two headlines so we can go straight into our topic
I
for
don't
today.
think we have time for the headlines anymore, because this is already
For the just
8:40. Yeah, just go.
Let's just go through them. Yeah. Okay. So our topic our topic for today is the old school way. And when we say the old school way, we really are not, this is not a battle of old school and new school. No. We will be looking at this more from the angle of what was in existence, or what were the things, what are the methods that older teachers, teachers from way back, older teachers in the system, what methods did they use that worked? What are some of those methods that we can improve on? And what are some areas of the methods that they use that are really not applicable to us anymore, but that we still find being used in our schools? So I'll just allow you take on this three aspects of the old school. What were the things they did that worked that we can continue doing? What are the things they did that that are presently not working for us, but we still use? And then what areas can we improve on what they have done so far? So I'll start with Zajayi. Please start us off on this. Hello, are you there? Okay, maybe Rhoda can start us off then while we wait.
Oh, hi. So uh, let me take you through
Okay,
what works.
the volume on your mic is quite low.
Oh, okay. How is this now?
It's
Better,
better
better.
now.
Oh, okay. I mean, so if interestingly today I was doing I do a walk every morning. Sometimes it stands between 40 to 60 minutes. Um, and I tried to do a lot of my listening of audio of different inspirational leaders that I follow closely. One of my very favorites, my favorites is Sir Ken Robinson. So for the whole of this week, I'm listening a lot to his speeches, and he talked a lot about where we need to be concerning, and it's pretty much being taught. You know, his world is always around creativity, industry, education, life, and innovation as well. And you know, he talks a lot about, he shares a lot about what the system, I mean, as most of the challenges we have is it being systemic and not as such a teacher problem, a school administrator problem, or per se. It's with that there are a lot of teachers and school administrators with great intentions, and AK is one of them here, right here. Yeah, and that the issue is really systemic, and so if I was going to hold on to teachers in the classroom, because we're talking about different pockets of professions or different pockets of situations. So there is a teacher angle, there is a school administrator angle, and there is, of course, the leadership angle, the government angle, which has the whole policy side to things and the structure side to things. So there's a lot of, it's a wide scope of areas. But if I to hold on to what teachers, just the teacher base, some of the things that teachers did that worked in the past, really, it's just been, it's actually, in my mind, accepting the pressure, to accepting just being in the classroom. It's not it's not a simple thing to teach, to be honest. I find, and I don't know, I mean, how many of us as teachers have active, it's not easy to just step out every day and stand in front of a couple of eyes and souls and minds and children with various abilities, various things. It's not simple. So even just being present and accepting to teach the whole part in a country like ours, where you're not quite highly remunerated. Um, those days it was a bit different because yeah, well, you imagine having, if you have $10,000 then and you have $10,000 now. It's not the same. The value has changed and not. So we're just being accepted profession is one. Then the second is just I find that one of the old ways that teachers taught then was really I think in my mind is the fact that always trying to as let me put it this way, trying to be follow the what is in the curriculum and not trying to digress too much. This particular thought of mine is really, I mean, there's a bad and a good side to it, and I'm only the good side is that what they try to see. I am then to make sure that it's like that they get accept that they're taught, and then they and what they also still some discipline, in themselves, discipline in their work ethic, discipline in their delivery. Albeit that we also had some downsides to it, but these things take. Now we don't see that much of it. We don't see that much of that discipline, that same discipline, that commitment in the workplace with teachers. We don't see it. It's just, I mean, I can share a million stories, from my own perspective, my current work. But let me just.
Fee, are you there? Are you on mute?
It seems like it's just us.
Oh, okay. I'm here. I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Rhoda, for that. There was something you said, that just actually got me thinking, and said that showing up. I think that was one of the major things we had in the old school way. Were the teachers better paid then? No, they were not. But there was just something about they showed up. It's in hindsight that I look and say, oh my goodness, when I can then see the signs that tell me want in a good place. But that didn't stop them. They showed up, and they showed up well. I look at my secondary school education, and I feel that I got very good education. It provided a lot of the good foundations. Even in my primary school, I didn't go to a public primary school, so it was already private then. But I'm saying those teachers came and gave their all. They came and gave their all, no matter how much it was that they were being paid, no matter all the other things that we are now more aware of than before. They came and showed up, and I think that that's so important. People that are into the space, giving their best all the time, irrespective of all that's happening. So while the public schools better funded, they're not necessarily so. But most people went to public school. My husband, he went to public school from his primary school. He said, me, I'm the one that went to private school. His mother, my mother-in-law, was a teacher and principal in the public school sector, and they showed up. They gave their all, every day. And I think that's something that's so important.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you also, Rhoda, for your for that contribution. Yes, the showing up, the dedication to the work. At that time, teachers were like, they were an authority. So if there was any child who wasn't in the right way, the fact that their parents told them they were going to take them to their teacher, or they were going to live with a teacher, or the worst of it, they were going to live with a headmaster or a principal, that just put the child in automatic, they just aligned. Because knowing that, oh, I'm going to live with this person, they gave their all to it, and it showed in the results that they got. It showed in the quality of students that they produced. Okay, someone has joined us. I'm not sure if this is Ifyok. Hello, is that Ifyok?
I think it's still
Okay. So the network is really not great this morning, but all the same, we will continue. Okay,
Hi.
so we Hello, is that Ugochi? Yeah, okay, Ugochi. It's Ugochi. Okay. Okay, so Ugochi, let's have your thoughts on. I hope we'll be able to hear you this time around on the three parameters of the old school. What worked? What do we need to improve on? And what did not work? Or sorry, what worked but is no longer relevant to the times that we're in, but we are still using. Oh wow, and Ugochi is out. Okay, so we have talked a lot about the private and the public sectors of the school system. Then the from the primary school to the secondary school, and it's interesting that quite a number of people holding public offices today, politicians, whatever role they are, but people who are holding public offices today went through the public school system. Now we see the way the public schools are. In fact, for some private schools, it's also they're also falling apart. But what comparisons, what parallels can we draw between the public school system, the kind of results they had, and what we're seeing right now? And if there are no parallels, uh, can we find a convergence point to bring our public schools? Yes, taking into consideration things like the EcoExcel, the partnership we saw in the headline this morning with the Oracle Academy. Are these things that can help us bring our public schools back to that point, to the old school that they used to be, and making them uh, top standard schools? Everybody, please go first.
So just I want to make sure I heard the various elements of your question. Just take the question again, please.
The 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 fall of I'll just put it as the fall of the public education system as it is right now. What could we say? What could be responsible for it? Seeing that the teachers in that system were very committed to it, they showed up, they were there, they gave it their all. And how can we bring the public schools as they are right now to how can we lift the standard of the public schools as they are right now and make them the standard, maybe even better than they used to be?
I like something that Rhoda said about things being systemic. If I go to a place, I'm a very committed teacher, filled with the Holy Ghost fire of teaching, that kind of thing. and, and I and I go into a system whereby it's they really don't care. Little by little, they're going to chip away at some of those my zeal. Little by little, they're going to chip away at some of those my values. Little by little, one day you can wake up and find you will not be able to differentiate me from them, because it takes a lot to be motivated continuously without a supporting system. So it's a systematic thing whereby it starts from every arm of the system. It starts from the policy makers. It's there with your school leaders. If everybody is filled with this Holy Ghost fire of zeal in terms of helping the children be their best, then it helps. But having said that, that's not to say that we can't have bits and pieces of it scattered all over the place. But we need a critical mass. We need a critical mass of it to make a difference. So Lagos State is blessed. We have a very passionate commissioner when it comes to education. Imagine that you have that, and you also have scattered in the system these various people who are passionate about education in various places. They come together, start a spark, helped by a lot of consultants, helped by a lot of corporates. little by little they help. And once you then have one school, one district that is a role model, then you find that there's hope. It starts to spread like wildfire. So that's what we need. We need, honestly, people in different places, with the commitment. It starts with that commitment, with a commitment to leave the system better than they came. Once it starts with that, especially at the leadership, it's a bit of an easier sell rather than the other way around. If you have it at the educators and the teacher level, it's a bit harder. But when you have it at the leadership level, it's a bit easier. And that's really what we pray for. Honestly, that was my prayer this morning. In terms of praying for our leaders, we just need the right leaders in various places to start that fire that spreads. Little by little, surely we get there.
Thank you. Little steps will take us there. Little steps will take us there. Okay, Rhoda, let's hear from you as we round off.
Yeah, I mean, this is always a great topic to explore, and I think that, I mean, some people have said, "Oh, we talk a lot." Look, I'm not sure how much we're talking enough. Because I also fell into that. Oh, we talk a lot, but no, not much action. But you see, until action happens, we must keep talking, because we are in an emergency situation, and I don't know today we're going to dive into talking about some of these emergencies and crises that we're facing through the eyes of education. Our kids are being used as baits and stuff like that. So there's quite a number of things there. And I sorry for digressing. But what has caused this decline? It is, for me, where I'll put it at the table of, whilst my son said something to me, before I say it, my son said something to me yesterday, because I like to engage with him. I think he finds it really a couple of things, that he annoys me on, but his mind is very broad. So but he said something, that we have to keep thinking of education as a business. And then I asked him, well, but I said, but education is social. And people are not supposed to be profiting out of education. I said to him, but just to trigger his mind. And he's a 15-year-old, and so I know his place in education, and thinking what he thinks should happen, for him right now, for his younger siblings, for the future as he continues his journey towards this learning. And so he said to me, "This is what I'm doing. This is what I need." He said, he then says, think about industry and think about business. Like the machines and technology that was used like 20 years ago cannot be used for any business person today, because it has to innovate and it has to produce, and it has to, of course, have some of it. So if the system that we are using before is the same system that we're using now, in these words, then we're bound to not have results. So some of the things that and so that was the trick of my mind, like this old young man talking out it means that everybody knows what is right. So what actually happened is that just did not time. That's what it is. And we can trickle down that movement or non whether it's the form transform and for me transformed. Just didn't there's an education that was for production, or that was industrialization, and the education that predicted world even when I'm doing my form of data to see what the whole thing things happen to us. Nation there was changing, because there was industry, a new set of skills required. There was a need to make sure that it's to have consistent biannual reforms or transforms. And so I was that's what happened, and that's something that also should be to learn that technology, especially health, like
Okay.
From you.
There's I'm sorry to cut in, but there's some interruption on the audio, so we're not hearing you very clearly.
That one is network issues. It's not me. So basically, I'm just saying that we were stuck in a time
Much better.
where our education was stuck. It just did not move along the times, and then our systems did not adjust along the time. Look, in my research, there are some policies within the education system in different states of this country that, as far as 1985, they have not changed. And you ask yourself, is that possible? That a policy was not reviewed? And I'm not talking about education, the philosophy of education. No, I'm not talking about those obvious ones that need change.
Mhm.
But smaller sections of reforms or policies that need to have adjusted. And that's where it is. So for me, it's just didn't for a long time. We're stuck in the world of education curriculum that just did not fit the world of work today. That is, to my mind, what we have a problem, and I think we have a great opportunity right now to move it. But guess what? Another big talent that we have, that I think that will be my watchword anywhere I go, is that we have not honestly and heavily invested in education. That is the challenge. We have looked at it. We have looked away from education. We have looked at it as the next option from the big picture, from the highest level of government, and we have not given it the kind of investment it requires. Because look, education is expensive. Make no mistake, it is expensive. That is why it should be a social good, because people should not be able to afford it. And I'm talking about basic education because it is expensive.
Mm. Thank you very much for that. And with that wisdom from the 15-year-old young man, I think we really should be paying a lot more attention to what our students and our children are saying, because I mean that's a recipe for moving forward. That's a recipe for, we can't stay stuck in time, we can't stay frozen in time and expect that things are going to turn out differently. We're like trying to force two things that will not work and trying to force them to stay stuck together and stay stuck to each other. I see a comment from Olushola Olumide. Also, those in the
Honestly,
teaching profession.
I like this his comment. I like this his comment, and maybe that's something that we need to do more. Whereby before they finally offer you the job, they do a job fit, so that it's not, they
Yeah.
do a serious job fit, so that it's not a thing of circumstances that you're entering. I think when I think about it, all people that went into education in those days, that's what they decided. My mother-in-law, her and all her sisters went into education, and all her sisters, they're educators. So it was something that,
Mm.
it was what a lot of parents did, and they did it out of pride. Because I know in those days, my friends' moms were either, if they were not teachers, they were nurses, or for them was something they went into, and they did it, and they did it well. So we need more of that. I agree with Olumide. Um,
Yeah.
oh,
And he has also said that I have discovered that the fall in standard is not due to lack of intellectual capacity, but due to attitudinal issues. Absolutely. We are not lacking in intellectual capacity at all. It's in it's in the attitude, and we cannot state this enough. Several things need to change in the system. We need to rework the system. We
Actually,
need to do a review.
yeah, me actually, I will take a little exception to that. While I think I understand where Olushola is going, I actually do think there's knowledge gap as well, and that knowledge gap is also tied in under the word of intellectual capacity. Because what is intellect really? That they are capable of doing something that requires you using a knowledge base. So sometimes when shifts happen, such as what has happened in the education system, then there is a gap, and that essential gap means it could be as simple as, oh, I don't know how to use this device. Oh, that there's the special needs that I can actually work on. There's a methodology that's going to help me teach in 4 different ways. And so they're saying things for every concept you teach there. Like the moment I became a teacher, one of the first trainings I took was how to teach every concept in 4 different ways. And that was then adjusting to what we understood as the multiple intelligences available then. Then we're using only the VAR cases there. But now we even know, thanks to Howard Gardner, that we have up to almost 9 multiple intelligences, which we now start to think and weave into every curriculum experience or delivery experience. So whilst I understand what Olushola is saying, I do think that there is intellectual gap, and then that's something that's where training comes in, and it doesn't need to now be the 4 walls of the university. It just needs to be an ongoing professional, inclusive of coaching and mentoring.
Yeah, thank you. I think what he's trying to pass across is, yes, there's a gap, but it's not, the gap can be filled. We're not having a fall because we cannot fill the gap, but simply because we have not seen the gaps and we are not filling them yet. If anybody were to fill in their personal development gaps, all they need to do is to find out more. We have the capacity to take it in, to absorb it, to analyze it, to internalize, and also to be able to execute it. Thank you so much to everyone who has been here. Despite all of the interruptions we've had with the network, we're still here, and we have had a very enlightening, a very beautiful show this morning. For everyone who has joined us, thank you for being there. Olushola Olumide, thank you for being here. Eunice Ohamilgwe, thank you for being here. And to every one of our analysts who has joined in today, Okenfa Ajayi, Ugochi, Obidiego, Rhoda Odigwe, Titi Adewusi, thank you very much for being here. And we will see you again tomorrow, to round off the week with another topic, very insightful topic in the world of education. But before we go, we would like to say to you, our usual mantra, and to use that to wish you a beautiful day ahead. So let's round off and give our tribe our usual morning tonic.
It's a rainy day, but it's still always
a great morning.
A great morning on the Good Morning
Education
Show.
Thank you.
But wonderful day, everyone.
Yeah, please do that. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.